Oh, all right. Good morning. It's Monday again. Happy Monday. I could definitely have slept in a little bit more this morning, especially since everybody in my house is sleeping in. So quiet. Good morning. Hi Stacy. Hi Misty. Hi Jen. Hi Theron. Hello, hello. Hey Cassie. Hi Mary Beth. Good morning and good morning. Hi, Nancy. Nancy, are you back in the States? Good morning, Nara. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, I can't read that. La Famosa Chica Fresa. Good morning, Christine. Good morning, Janelle. Ooh, okay. Nancy says it's afternoon. It's wine and magic for me. That sounds delightful. Good morning, Nicole. Hi, Jessica. Oh, a piece of hair on my tongue. That's gross. Okay, you're in France, so it's delicious wine and magic for you. Good morning. Hi, Arlene. Oh, let's pull this out because we're going to need it today. Oh, all right. So, how are we doing? It's quite a time on Earth right now. That's for sure. I think everybody's yeah. Stop it. It was like a lint hair. Not that that's any better. So I should have just left it alone and let you thought whatever hair you wanted to. Nicole says it's heavy. Janelle's asking about Kitty. Kitty's actually on the mend. He's not in here right now. I think he's still in bed. Um, he had well, it's been weeks and weeks. Like, remember when I got sick when eclipse season started? Um, I got COVID and he was also wheezing. And so I'm like, great. Like, we gave each other the sickness. So we were sick for weeks together. I took him to the vet 2 times. He was on antibiotics for 2 weeks. He got better and then he wasn't good anymore. And I was just like, what the hell? Because everything that Google doctor told me was that like respiratory infections in cats really don't last more than a couple weeks. And it was like moving into a month, like a little over a month territory. So anyway, and his mouth was starting to stink. I'm like, what's going on? So I took him back to the vet, and it turns out one of his incisors had an abscess and it was like about to fall out. And so they did a surgery to remove that and like remove all this gunk that was like impacted up into his nasal cavity, and now he's on antibiotics again. So this is part of the course with Kitty, and we've had him like, I don't know, 12 years now. And I swear to God, this cat ate a nickel that blocked his duodenum, and he did emergency abdominal surgery. He got into a fight with some cat, and the cat bit his eyeball and it got infected, and he had to have the eyeball taken out. And now there's this one. So he just like every few years, he's like, I just want you to really feel invested in me. Like, show me how much you care, you know? And we do. So that's my cat. He's doing all right. We're all on the mend over here. Cassie was feeling the Sag fire, but is sick now. Yvonne is dreaming about different animals. Who's not sleeping? Shadows and secrets is not sleeping, so exhausted. Arlene is spicy. Excellent. Um, yeah, I do wonder. I do wonder how many lives he's got left. So that's fine. Um, yeah, so there's a lot going on right now, and we have channeling tomorrow, and it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a doozy. I mean, we're in it. It's a portal day tomorrow, and a portal day is a day with a higher energy frequency that can really assist us in like understanding things differently and making massive changes. And we're moving into Sagittarius energy And if you think about Sagittarius energy, this is going to be your expansive fire energy. Some people think of Sagittarius energy as a little chaotic, but I don't. But maybe that's because I'm equal Sag placements and Scorpio placements. So I don't think that's chaotic at all. But Sagittarius is always on the search for truth. Okay. Always on the search for new ways of thinking, new ways of being, new systems. Like Sagittarius is just always learning, always curious, just a curious cat, right? Shooting through the sky. And that's the kind of fire that we're approaching now, as we move into this week. And we really have to ask ourselves some questions now. We've been talking about this for a while. Every time we do a channeling now, the message comes through that this year is going to get worse and worse and worse and worse collectively. It's going to get ugly. People are going to die. It's going to be violent because that's what it means when an entire society collapses. That's what tower energy means. And it would be so great if we could have these shifts and changes without any violence, without any pain, without anybody losing anybody. But that's not ever how it works. We're in the middle of this now. It's not gonna start. It's already started a while ago, and now it's kind of it's edging up to peak type of energy. And the thing with this energy, and we'll talk so much more about this tomorrow, is that when you think of a peak, you might think, oh, up and then straight down, but that's not how time runs anymore. It's very different. It's not linear. So we're surfing this. We're surfing this wave. And there's just a lot going on in the world right now that is very heavy and very sad and very demoralizing. And I think it's forcing a lot of us who, everybody here tuning into me right now, you can consider yourself to be in a rather extreme place of privilege because you have the ability to hang out with me on a Monday morning, tune in and talk about the energy and get cards pulled and like drink your coffee. That's an extreme privilege when you juxtapose that to um, sorry about that. What when you juxtapose that to what is going on in the collective, right? And what I struggle with a lot is how to balance my particular privilege with understanding how I can help and how I cannot help. Some things don't need your fingers stuck into them, and some things do. And it's like, how do you know what to do? How to educate yourself, how to be supportive, how to be a good person, right? And the thing that just keeps coming back around and around and around is when I listen to um, people talk about this, it's like if you're in a place of privilege, just make sure you're not acting to make yourself feel better about your privilege. Because that's not really helping, right? That's making you feel better. It's just like, that idea that if you do acts of service and lots of charity work, you're going to go to heaven and because you'll be a good person. But it doesn't matter if you do those things from the goodness of your heart or because you don't want to go to hell. It's like kind of like that, right? So really stay curious and be aware of your place of privilege. I've seen so many conversations in the BIPOC community, like not really dealing with the things like that are happening in Iran right now, but just generally speaking of like how do you understand if you have vestiges of racism like inside of you? How do you know if the lens you're looking at the world through isn't colored by those things? And if you're, I mean, of course it is. We live in a society that's like that. I do too. Like this is what we're trying to break down so we can get out of. And in order to do that, we have to be cognizant of the programs that we currently are running and not work so hard to defend ourselves against them because that's a waste of our time. Like, who cares? I'm sure you're a wonderful person. That doesn't mean you don't have some latent racism like hanging out in there. And that's okay. Because if we can be curious and find those things, right? If we can do that, then we can actually make a change. And instead of looking at what's happening and being like, well, that's what's going on there because of this, this, and this, like, how about just how can I help without judging? Right. So I'm always looking, I'm always trying to learn this. I'm always trying to have conversations and figure this out because it needs to be constantly looked at. And it's a lot right now. So my role here is to support you and to help, help us get through this. I can do that. I can be here to support you. I can be here to like walk myself through it. I can do that. So I'm going to focus on it as much as humanly possible. But it is a lot. So channeling is tomorrow. It's 11:22 portal energy. Um, we kick off at 6, I think. You can join us live or you can catch the recording. If you can join us live, I would love it because the more energy present live, the better for me. But tomorrow is going to be a lot of information on redacted history. That's been coming through a lot, and we have a few questions to kick us off tomorrow, um, specifically around the theme of reclaiming your energy from others' creations, institutions, societies, and that kind of thing. So it's going to be a good one. So the link for that is in my bio. If you have questions, you can send me a DM. But that's the next thing. Um, and yeah, I will be here on Friday morning at 10 a.m. for more coffee and magic. So I'm not going anywhere this week. I'm just gonna chill and lay low, and hopefully the channeling doesn't take me out tomorrow. So with that being said, let's get to let's get to the cards, shall we? So if you're new here, we're going to do sensory card pulls. I'm going to give you three things, and then I'm going to do three different pulls from here and get you your message for today. What's our three things today? We're going to do smells this morning. One of my favorite senses. What's your favorite sense? I don't know if smell is my absolute favorite, but I think it might be. Like when I get a cold and stuff and I can't smell, I become very uncomfortable. Ricky's is touch, which makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's definitely going to be one of them. That's right, Christine. All right, so here are your Cassie's is touch too. Here are your three scents for this morning. Okay. We've got patchouli, orange zest, like an orange zesty smell, citrusy, and rose. So you've got patchouli, citrus, or rose this morning. What are you feeling? I think all three of those would make a delicious essential oil blend, actually. But those are your three. So pick which one you're feeling aligned with, or more than one if you want. Um, Patchouli, orange, or rose. Yeah, I think it'd be good together. Um, Hi, Angie. While I'm shuffling, and just a reminder, it's patchouli, citrus, orange, or rose this morning. Choose your smells. Um, Applications for the Normalized Magic Lifestyle membership is open. This is our intensive membership. So, hello. If you've ever been in a workshop, it's going to be somewhat similar to that, but just a little bit different. We're meeting on Sunday evenings each week, and it's creating family and supporting each other very specifically, and working on our magic and just It's going to be great. Included in your membership is also all of the channeling. So you'll have your once a week meeting, and then 2 channelings a month are included. Everything's going to be very easy to access on one page. We're going to have some meditations for you. It's going to be great. So if you're interested, you can apply now. Registration does not open until the 1st, but you can send your application in through the link in my bio, or just go to sarahamala.com. Super excited to get back into workshop with you guys. It's kind of my favorite. All right. Patchouli, orange/citrus, or rose? Which one are you feeling? I'm about to pull. Yes, it's great. Please check it out. If you have any questions, just send me a DM. Everything will be recorded, so you don't have to be live, but it's all available for you. In this also, I've added the feature that you can send me emails 24/7, questions 24/7, and I will get back to you. So you have that as well. Direct line. Yeah. Yeah, Angie, all the usual suspects are going to be there. So I'm getting the gang back together. All right, are you ready? Are my patchouli people ready? And my listeners? All right, ready. I always wait till I see everybody's ready. Okay, so patchouli, here we go. Birth and rebirth. We haven't gotten this one in a minute, right? The queen, the wind fairy. We're actually starting here with the wind fairy. So here's an interesting thing that happened when I picked up the wind fairy just now. You may or may not know that in this deck there are 4 different fairies. There's the water fairy, the wind fairy, the earth fairy, and the fire fairy. All the elements. I'm like, what are the elements? When I picked up the wind fairy, I saw the water fairy, and then it switched back. So this has a very specific message for you. You are, quite possibly, see if it resonates, you are kind of going between your thoughts and your feelings and unsure which they are. Are your emotions logical? Do they make sense? Are your thoughts just big emotions? Like there's just like this kind of like, what is it? What is it? What's going on with me? Like, am I being rational? Am I being over emotional? Like, is this how I actually feel? Are my thoughts like in line? Like it's just like kind of a big soup of things. And this card is kind of answering that for you, which is not typical of the cards. So let's see how that goes for you. Your thoughts are like 75% still a bit entrenched in old programming, and 25% really working hard on a whole new way of doing. When you're under construction, when like your major parts are under construction, that can really result in a very wonky, um, it's just a very wonky vibe for you because things are not connecting correctly yet. They're on their way, but you're just kind of all over the place because that's what's happening. This is going to get better. Just don't retreat from it. Don't run away from the uncomfortable of it because this is what you asked for. This is what you set into motion. And it is a little messy right now. Like what did you think? Like, did you think it was like bippity boppity boo? Like we wish, right? But if this is actually a physiological process. It's an energetic process and it's a physical process. Like it's all of those things. So you have to have a little bit of patience as your actual systems complete this upgrade and switch on over. Okay. So can you trust yourself? Yes, of course, but just allow the messiness for a minute without freaking out, okay? It's not gonna last that long, but I'm guessing that at this like very moment, it feels a little bit like, you know? So that's your wind fairy. But you're also here in this space. Now, remember, birth and rebirth is not a death. It's a cycle, okay? It's what we are supposed to actually do as people over and over again. We are supposed to allow ourselves to, kind of be reborn into new iterations constantly, but we have been deeply programmed not to do that or only to allow ourselves to be reborn into very specific archetypes that may or may not align with you at all, right? So, what is happening right now is you're bucking that system too. And what you are being reborn into is a new understanding of your feminine energy. Feminine energy has been very deeply, what's that word? I want to say bastardized, but that's not the right one. It's like when somebody takes something and makes it mean something that it doesn't and just fucks up the meaning. Do you know what I mean? My brain just totally lost the words. But feminine energy has been portrayed as something that it's not for a long time, namely weak, oversensitive, volatile, and without the reverence that is required for that feminine energy. So part of the major rebirth right now is in that new understanding of feminine completed new understanding of feminine energy for you and what that means. Doesn't matter what your gender is. So just remember that. If you're watching this and like let's say you identify as a man and you're like, well, I wouldn't be rebirthing into my feminine. Wrong. You would be. Everybody needs to. It's time for that. But especially those who do identify as women are going to be extremely caught up in that process right now of understanding what that means and reclaiming the power in the feminine energy. So that is what I want to say. That is your patchouli. Yes, we have all good words that you found for me that I could have used. Demonized, slandered, conflated. Sometimes the words they just poof away from me. Oh, hi, Jacinda. Thank you. My Scorpio necklace. Not that I was a huge fan of Scorpio season, like Jesus Christ. As a Scorpio, I'm sorry, you know? But sometimes sometimes it's not what you want, but it's what you need. And we appear to all still be here. So we should definitely get t-shirts after this Scorpio season. And yes. Yeah, exactly, Anna. All right, this is going to be your citrus pull. If you're just joining us, we're doing our sensory card pulls to get you some information for yourself for this week. And we just did patchouli. We're doing scents, and you can choose from citrus, orange, or rose. Those are the last two. This is going to be your citrus pull. Oh, goodness. This is going to be interesting. Are you ready for your citrus pull? I feel that too, Cassie. I feel like I need a break as well. All right, so here's the wind fairy again. So there's that. You saw me shuffle, right? I was shuffling. I'm not great at shuffling, but like I do that. Then we have the trust card and the hawk. Okay, so here we are back with this one. This one is a little bit different, of a message. It's straight up wind fairy. So so if you chose citrus, we are really focusing on your thoughts right now. Okay. There is an awareness that has happened for you where you now understand a little bit differently how your thoughts manifest into your reality. Okay. And let me say it in different words. When you think things, they tend to happen, right? Have you noticed that the more that you think something, the more it is affirmed as an experience in your life? Have you noticed that we generally are very accepting of negative thoughts and negative affirmations of experiences, but not so much positive ones? And again, negative and positive is very subjective. So just remember that. If something is subjective, that means that it has no moral imperative. Do you see what I'm saying? Like an experience could be good for me, but bad for you. So that means you're in charge of that. No one else can be. So you're going to have to really ask yourself a few questions here and figure your shit out, okay? Because you're the one who creates the rules of your game. And if you've decided that you're running the program, that life is hard, everybody's out to get you, money's scarce, and you're tired all the time, gotta tell you, if you've been saying that for a while, I'm wondering if you've been feeling it for a while too. Is it amazing how you manifest that into your everyday reality? And are you like, why hasn't this ever changed? I'm doing so much work in my spiritual arena. Why hasn't this changed? And I think it's really important um, to remember there's no amount of burning of things or shiny crystals or oracle decks or sound healings or anything that is going to put a dent in your experience if you don't change the program of your thoughts, because that is what is creating the foundation of your reality. It's a big deal. So it's your responsibility. You can't blame this on anybody else. And that's kind of the problem, because if you are in charge of this, that means you have to take responsibility for the good feelings and the bad feelings. Okay. And again, those are subjective. Not everybody agrees with what feels good or what feels bad. Okay. It's like, oh, okay. So lots of thinking right now. Now, I'm not going to say Sagittarius season is a time of like deep thinking. It's more about action, right? But this is a moment for you right now. So dig in there. See what the theme is. If you were to just kind of take a snapshot of like the symphony of your thoughts in a 24-hour period, is it 75% like not so fun? Do you feel very Pollyanna when you try to think positively? If so, I have hacks for this. This is what we'll be working on in the 3-month lifestyle membership. So I'd love to just sit here and tell you all my secrets this morning, but it's terrible business practice. So come join us and we will be doing that. Now, your next is trust. And then you have the hawk. And so you have your thoughts over here, all of these thoughts, all of these programs. And then you have like this like energy telling you to trust the signs, trust the synchronicities, trust the magic that is all around you. And it's kind of like going in direct opposition with some of the programs in your brain that are like, well, I can't see it, touch it, and read about it in an encyclopedia or find it on Google, then it's probably not real, right? Okay, so this is happening over here, and this is your magic. This is you trusting in the flow of things and trusting that you're in the flow of things, and that when you see a sign, it is actually a sign. But you can disprove any sign, okay? You can make life very lacking in magic, or you can make it very magical, okay? It's either lack of imagination or plenty of it. There's no judgment either way, but again, it's time to make a decision on what you want your experience to be. I like to choose magic. And you know how when your kids are little, or when kids are little, we allow them to be very fanciful and use their imagination and all those things. And then they hit like 5 and we're like, all right, stop living in the clouds. Like that's not real. That's a fantasy. It's time to, drop down to reality, stop being all fanciful and dreamy. And we kind of like kick it out of them that they shouldn't use their imagination so much because that's not reality. Reality's hard, not magical. And I think that's the program we're all working on breaking right now because that's unfortunate. Who's it hurting to view the world through the magic of a child's viewpoint, right? Who is that hurting? Nobody. So it's kind of removing those programs that were like, yeah, you can't believe in magic, unicorns aren't real, that kind of thing. Trust it. It's coming back online for you right now. That is your citrus message for this morning. And don't leave after the rose pull because when I first sat down here, Isis definitely wants to do something. So we're going to do a collective Isis card at the end, okay? So this will be your rose. Was citrus for you, Jacinda? This is coffee this morning, but it's not tasting great. It's not. I just didn't have time to do my tea situation, and so I'm like, let me just make a coffee real quick, and it's like, oh no, it's just like usually coffee tastes like yes, it's like a big yes in my mouth, and today it just tastes a little bit like dirt. So, like sweet dirt. Hot, sweet dirt. Jacinda's drinking tea with lemon and CBD honey. That sounds nice. So wait, I actually have a story about honey. So this was years ago when it wasn't that many years ago, but it was when like not everybody and their mother was, consuming THC products all the time everywhere. And it wasn't like legalized here in Pennsylvania. And like I've never been in like the pot culture, so I just didn't know what was going on, right? And so I had some people over and it was when I first moved in here actually, and we had done like a yoga class here in the schoolhouse, and then we were sitting around the table and like eating snacks, and one of my friends had brought some honey that somebody had made for her, and she was like, I don't know what she said, but what I heard was it was CBD honey, and I'd had CBD honey before, it like doesn't get you high, so I was like whatever. So we're sitting there just talking whatever, and it tastes delicious, so I'm like putting it on pieces of bread and just eating it, and she looked at me and she's like, wow, you're eating a lot of that. And I was like, are you trying to like shame me for eating? Like, why are you doing that? She's like, no, not at all. And I was like, okay, because like I don't need to be policed. Like the fuck, I eat as much bread as I want. Anyhow, it turns out it was actually pot honey, and I was suddenly incredibly high, and I was so confused because I'm like, what was in here? And like everybody knew it. And they were just watching me because it was like you're supposed to have like half a spoonful, and I'm just like slathering it on my bread. And yeah, so that's what I think of, Jacinda, when you think of the honey. It was a good time. I think a lot of people did get high that day because the honey was delicious. But again, like I just wasn't prepared. Wasn't prepared for that. But now it's everywhere. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm glad I made your day. That honey made my day. It was funny. I mean, it was a good time. I'm not like I go through phases with marijuana. Like I got my card and sometimes it's good to me, sometimes it isn't. So, just like everything else. It's like coffee. Just sometimes it's good, sometimes it isn't. All right. So here's your rose poll this morning. Um, burden, owl, cow. Uh-oh. This one feels like it's gonna say something about your family. Okay, so it's not just family. Let's take the constructs, like the people constructs, relationship constructs out so that we can like understand the energy here. Typically, the energy of what's coming through in this poll is to be found in like toxic family structures. So you can easily find this energy in like a relationship between a family member that is very toxic and narcissistic, and a very much of like one person trying to please somebody who's never to be pleased. Okay. Um, or somebody who is like just generally is not nice to you and attacks you all the time, but like they love you, that kind of thing. You've got the burden here because you learned something. You learned something. You finally found, like, you finally saw something in such a way that you cannot unsee it. And boy, is it a fucking bummer. Like, it's like you knew it, but you were skirting around the edges. And the thing with the owl card is the owl can actually see like in all directions, right? So it's like you finally decided to use that feature of yours to like see the whole thing. And when you saw the whole thing, it was like, great. Now I see this whole thing. And something that's happened, well, a few things have happened with this. It's changed you, and you can't go back to how you were, which means that everything around you is going to be changing as well. Because if you put yourself in that same position that you were before, knowing what you know now, it's going to hurt you, and it's hardly going to affect anyone else. And that's the other thing that you learned that hurts a lot. You don't, you aren't, your needs, your feelings, your choices and decisions don't actually affect whoever this is, as much as like it should. You know what I mean? Um, and so it's just like this revelation of understanding in relationships that some relationships are just not serving anymore. And we need a new way of saying you deserve better, because deserve implies that there's a sort of, I don't know, inherent goodness or um, achievement that is necessary in order to deserve good things to happen to you, in order to deserve people treating you kindly and generously and, with respect. You don't have to deserve good treatment. That's insane. It's insane to say to somebody like, You deserve better. Like everybody deserves better. We all deserve to be in relationships that build us up and support us instead of making us feel bad about ourselves. Do we learn incredible, important lessons from relationships that are off balance? Yeah, we do. Because when things are off balance, that's how we learn what balance is. And so these things are very important. The trouble is that we are programmed to stay in relationships way too long because letting go is seen as giving up. So when the time comes when a specific relationship has taught you the lesson and it's time to move on, you're like, no, we're going to fix this one more time and I'm going to stay in it. I don't give up on people. These are stories we tell about ourselves that are keeping us in relationships that are killing our energy. Okay. And so now you see it. So, like, what do? Right? Smack dab in the middle of the holidays. It's a lot, but it's also moving yourself into the cow, not turning into a cow, but moving yourself into this space. Because you see, chances are your entire life, you've been seeking that feeling of being loved and accepted. And you've been taught that in order to be loved and accepted, you have to give of yourself, of your time, of your energy, whatever it is. The more that you give, the more that you sacrifice of yourself, the more likely it is that you are going to be accepted and loved too. And I ask you, has that happened for you yet? Has that program proven to be true? Has that mechanism assisted you at all? Chances are no, because chances are, maybe it is, but chances are that that mechanism is actually not meant to make you feel accepted and loved. It's meant to allow your energy to be used by those around you. Okay. So now we're learning how to actually receive, and we have to go slow because it's a big one. Asking for help, allowing it to come through, opening up some space so that all of the abundance that you've been like working on can actually reach you, can actually come to you. A lot of the energy that you've been craving, a lot of the acceptance, a lot of the love, all of those things are waiting for you, but they can't really make it there if you are blocking those fields with people who are sucking energy. Okay? It's like you have this moat around you and nothing can get in because it's all taken up. So, recap on the rose. You saw something that you can't unsee and it's feeling heavy for you because you know that it has to change because you can't go back. And now it's time to reprogram yourself, to allow yourself to receive, to allow yourself to open your arms and say, yes, you can take care of me. Yes, I cannot micromanage every single detail for fear that it's going to go awry and I'm not going to be in control of everything. You can do that. You can do that. And it's also about making sure to have boundaries. And boundaries are not in these cards, but I'm just going to remind you about them because we are like rolling into holiday season. Your boundaries are your responsibility. You set them and you enforce them. Your boundaries come with an action point for you when somebody crosses that. The other person is not responsible for that. Okay? So that is your rose card pull for today. Now we're going to do Isis. So don't go anywhere. Whew. What do you mean you're moving? Like, are you moving out of Connecticut? Oh, hey, Carrie. Hi, Ellen. Hi, Beth. Well, Beth, you switched over. Yeah, so what I do in Coffee Magic is I do sensory card pulls. So I give you three things and then I do three separate pulls. And I'm also going to pull from here now. And this is just going to be a collective card. Okay. But what I would ask you today, and you should do this anytime you're involved in a collective card reading, just take a minute, like take a deep breath, and then set an intention for yourself for this card. Okay. Like, what do I need to know this week? or something like that. Just, take a second and breathe, center your energy, and we'll see what Isis has to say. Reminder as I'm shuffling, live channeling is tomorrow. It's going to be crazy. I can feel that already. So I hope you join us. It's 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Tuesday, 11 to 2. You can join us live, but when you sign up, you'll also get the recording, so you don't have to be live. And as has become a thing, we'll do some energy work during as well. If you signed up for tomorrow already, you would have a confirmation email, and you should be getting like reminders and stuff in your email and text. I did not see you signed up, Yvonne. I was just looking at the sign up this morning. I didn't see you, so chances are you're not signed up. But yeah, you should have confirmation emails if you signed up for tomorrow. The sign up for that is, you can go to saramala.com. I think there's a banner at the top, or you can go to the links in my bios, and you should be able to find it pretty easily. Yeah, the notifications are auto, and I think so it's 9 o'clock. So you're probably going to get a notification like around 5 p.m. today or something like that. I think you get a 24-hour thing. And just a reminder that when you sign up for the 3-month lifestyle membership, all the channelings are included. So you don't need to sign up for those at all when you're part of the membership, which I think is going to be a perk. Less things to do. All right, so I'm pulling from my Isis deck. Oh my God. You didn't hear that, right? Oh my God. I'm going to give myself an asthma attack. Jesus Christ. Oh no, you did hear it. Okay. Well, to be honest, I didn't play it cool, did I? All right. All right, guys. Well, if anyone would know how to use it, it would be Isis. All right. So I'm pulling from this. It's the Alana Fairchild Isis Oracle deck. And we've got Divine Destiny, Path of the Divine Warrior. There's a little picture for you there. One for you here. And one for you here. Okay. Yeah. All right, you guys. Got me all flustered. A, B, C, D. Okay. All right. Here we go. The Oracle of Divine Destiny is a call to your divine warrior. This part of you has great self-esteem and believes that what you desire is worth whatever effort, personal growth, application, focus, and attention are required to obtain it, provided it aligns with your divine destiny. This part of you acts in personal integrity, and if the goal will compromise integrity, then the goal is refined until it shines like a diamond in your heart. Then the divine warrior will bring it into being. The path of the divine warrior is not one of any means to an end. The means and the end are considered equally important. The divine warrior will succeed in bringing about your divine destiny, but it will be done in a way that is in integrity with deep spiritual values. There are important teachings on the path of the feminine about the need for surrender and allowing for the best manifestation. The divine warrior is not at odds with these, but continually surrenders into the greater unfoldment and play of cosmic forces, seeking to align with those forces for greatest power and flow. The oracle of divine destiny often comes at a time when there is something that you feel you are struggling to attain. It may be a vague sense or a clear vision. There is something within your heart that you have almost given up on, wondering if it is ever going to come together. This oracle comes with the message that although you may feel struggle or challenge, it is not a sign to step away in the situation. It is a sign to put your faith in the divine warrior within instead. This warrior may shift approach, change expectation, go within to find the resources you require, or find a completely different path to get you to your destiny. Do not give up the fight. If you are not sure what this applies, ask yourself what it is in your life that you are feeling you are fighting to attain or maintain. Find what is not in form, but in essence. If it is your job that you are fighting for, then it may be your freedom and responsibility that you are really fighting for. If you are fighting your weight or eating habits, then it might be the right to express your true feelings that you are fighting for with your body as a divine warrior, refusing to give up the right to truthful expression. Find the truth of what you are working towards and keep your heart and mind centered in that truth. Your divine warrior will get you what you need and deeply desire in alignment with your best and highest divine destiny. You deserve no less. I feel like they put I feel like they put this in there, that last sentence, just to be like, because it's like you deserve no less, as I just ranted about the issues with deserving. All right, so there is your Monday card from the BDE of Isis. Sounds good to me. All right, friends. I don't hate it. I love you guys. Thanks for spending your Monday morning with me. Make sure if you're not following me to follow me, like and follow. If you're on TikTok and you just found me, maybe follow me on Instagram because you can see my posts there. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you again on Friday morning at 10 a.m. I hope you have an amazing week, whatever it is you're doing. I hope you keep your boundaries nice and firm and you remember that you are magical, you are very loved, you are supported, and you are amazing. Mwah, 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 mwah. Okay, goodbye, everybody. I think I know how to end the live by now. Goodbye, YouTube, and goodbye.